Alrighty, we found us a couple of Poulan chainsaws, marketplace, dirt cheap. According to the seller, they do not run. They had two of them. One, I'm pretty sure I already have one or two of these. It's a Poulan Pro PT1 42cc. The other one is a Poulan 2150. Super clean. And went to look at them. Yeah, seeing them on the marketplace, it's nice enough to hold them. He's been doing mad every time. That's why we're having problems getting videos out. And definitely look like they've been through the mill. Complete for the most part. This one, you can see there, the green one, the 2150. Definitely missing a primer. They did tell me they didn't know a whole lot about them. So they tried to start them, couldn't get them to start. Gave up on them. Well, this one obviously has an issue. But they didn't go into a lot of detail. So I don't even know how complete they are. It's one of those deals where you put the money under the mat and take them off the porch. So what I gave for them, they're worth more than what I gave for them in parts. So it was, for me, a no-brainer. Because at some point I'll come across, even if they don't run, most likely, they don't. But we'll take a look at this one. This one I actually think I have some parts for. Alright. Bar and chains off. Release the clutch. Now, the plan. Feel a little bit of juice down its throat. See if anything happens. We can get it in there. Hopefully there's nothing there. Well, keep your fingers crossed, I guess. If it runs, or tries to run anyway, then we'll, I don't know, take a look at the fuel lines or something. I'll tell you, it don't seem like it has a lot of compression, so. Yep, it's over. Can't tell for sure if it's actually trying or not. I think it is. Let's try this. Kinda is, kinda ain't. But it like seriously feels like it's low in compression. Which is the problem I got with a couple other ones. I was hoping that this one would at least have compression. So because I got two other ones, I think. Close to the same model, but close enough between 2 or 3 of them might be able to get one to work. But yeah, I really need something to shoot fuel with. Mine broke, so kind of screwed in that department. Yeah. Alright, so here's the deal. We went out after work, haven't had a chance to get any videos done because I've been working so much overtime. And found a guy on Marketplace. Had a couple Poulan saws, and he had this one. It's a Poulan Pro PP4218A 42cc. Next to no compression, but it's complete. And I have a Craftsman, no compression, basically the same saw, 42cc. They're pretty much identical, just brand names are different. And I have this one, which a guy gave to me a while back, which is, he tore, I was going to pay him for it, and then he decided to just go ahead and take it. According to him, it did run, but ran like crap, so he was going to overhaul it. But he told me just go ahead and take it, so I just went ahead and took it. So this one, the jug looks good on the inside. Everything's good, clean, shiny. The piston looks good. These two, everything is just scarred as it can be, but they're good parts. As far as they are both complete, they have everything with them. I mean, complete. And this one, I got it today. It was complete. Had bar, chain's actually sharp. As I checked it, it's firing, so I know the coil is good. So the thing I have with this one is there's no coil and no carburetor was in the box. Other than that, everything's there. All the plastic, all the screws, everything else. So this will probably be a two-part series. This will be our Frankenstein saw. Between the three of them, we're going to try to get this one running. How well that's going to turn out, I don't know. But I got on this one, the only thing that was on it for a sealer for the jug was RTV, black RTV silicone. So I cleaned it up and I'm putting it back the same way. And these, once you put them on, the bolts, so you can see them from the bottom of this one. It's kind of hard to see, but see that? Once you take this plastic off right here, that gives you the access. These four, 1, 2, the other two are underneath this plastic trim piece for the handle. You take those off, that's what frees up your jug. So, take the jug. Like I say, we're going to do this on a two-part series. So you got your two sleeves. I don't know the actual technical term for these. I know they're different colored. One's black, one's gray. Appear to be in good shape. A little used and abused, but you know, one goes on one side and one goes on the other. So it looks like, oh nope, put them in wrong. So it goes, legs go up. There we go. Here's the gray one. There's our black one. So the piston, I already got, like I said, I already got the RTV, cleaned everything up. RTV's on it. So you want to make sure you don't put it on backwards. So that's where your carb hooks up. That's your exhaust. Your handle up here. It's where your muffler points. So what I'll try to do is get this in here without tearing everything all to crap. So far, guys, saying the only thing I know for sure I'm missing is the carb and coil. Come on, big fella. Going? Yeah, we're going. Okay. So here's our jug. Make sure we're good and flat. So here's our jug. So all we got to do, here's our 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'll tighten this down. Oh, what do I do with the socket? I'll tighten it down if I can find the socket. But the plan, it actually doesn't fit, was to not torque it. I wasn't going to completely torque it down. I just wanted to get it to where it's good and firm, let it set for a little bit. I have to find that socket. Let it set for a little bit. Stay, big fella. Then torque it. So we have all the plastics. Oh, that's small. It's like a 10 millimeter maybe. There we go. A fine thread, 5/16. So we'll get these started, get them down, get them to where the just want to get the silicone to where it's making contact. Trust me, I'm no pro at this, so let's just say use it use at your own risk, I guess. So far from being a pro. That one is not tight, it's just down to the surface. I'll try to get it evened out. That was being a little stubborn. They are fine thread and they're going into aluminum, so you don't want to You know, just make sure you're not cross-threading them. All it is soft cast aluminum, easy to strip. There, yep. So that one's touching. That one's touching. So I'll let that set and cure a little bit. Kind of get you in there a little bit. You can see where the jug's coming down and hitting. So they had it together with black RTV gasket, so that's what it's going back together with. And I think I'll maybe give it just a little bit more, just a little bit snugger, just enough to where I can see it, to where it's at least attempting to squish a little bit. I think we might be there. Yeah. Okay. Now, another thing I don't know, so if you're going to do something like this, get on Poulan's website and look for torque specs. There we go. It's starting to swish out a little bit, so I'm going to let it set. Let her set. So now, boy, that's setting up. Like I was saying, the guy gave me, I got all the choke parts. Got the clip for the choke is here somewhere. There it is. So we got all of our our clutch mechanism, mufflers. So between the three, we got what we're going to need. So this is going to be our Frankenstein machine. Well, not, it's kind of like, I guess you got two Poulans and a Craftsman. So close enough. Got a couple older Poulans, but they're a little bit different. Carburetor setups are different than these. But I guess while that's setting up, there ain't too much I can do. So I'm going to let that set up and cure. So I don't want to get to messing with it and screw that up. So I'm just going to let that set and cure, and then we'll pick it back up. All right, I let the RTV set overnight. Set up real decent, best I could anyway. So got the clutch mechanism cover and all that back on. I was getting ready to start the handle for this is where your throttle assembly is right here, and you run just the whole plastic for the handle, the grab bar. Your cable runs up through, comes out, and this one I had to take the screws out of it, but it runs, you can see where it runs up through and goes to the carburetor itself. And apparently I don't have that part, so in the process of stealing this one. So I'm going to take this one off of our one that has no compression, put it on that one. I have this part of it, but apparently I don't have the handle. I thought I did, but apparently I don't have that part. So now I'm minus this part, carburetor, and a coil. So we know this has good spark. So we'll steal the handle, we'll steal the coil, and between this one and the Craftsman, we'll steal the carb. So yeah, hope for the best. So we get this part, which isn't bad. It's only, it's like 4 or 5 screws along the bottom. One on this side. Over here it goes to this spring, and then your throttle assembly where it goes up, you just remove your carb and you can take it out and then straight onto the other one, same way you took it off. Not a big deal to do. So far everything's been the T25 star bit, and so I won't bore you with that. I'll fight it on there and then we'll see what we got next. Alright, so a little bit farther. So what I'm doing now is I got the coil put in place. I'm going to put this pull string on it, make sure we got spark. I hope. Should. coil was good in the other saw, so as long as I got it adjusted right, I should be good. Turn it over. Alright. Snug her on down. I still got this piece on for the throttle where it runs down in for the throttle assembly, but as you can see, I gotta try to get the carb and everything on. I have to take that back off and adjust my cable out. So main thing right now is I don't want to go any further until I know it's got spark. I forgot to mention I did oil the cylinder when put a little bit of oil in there when I slid it back together to get the piston up in there to help everything out. Get a little bit of lubricant. Spark plug. I don't know if this is a good one or not. It's in there. Can't tell with that one. Good Lord. Should use it differently. Spring is intact. Now we'll try this one. Yeah, it feels like it's in there. I can't tell. Let's kill some light. With a little bit of shade on it, let's see if we can tell. There's too much vibration. I don't think so. Nope, nope. I don't think we're getting any spark. So I'll have to go back in, readjust it, and we'll try again. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I don't know if it'll pick it up, but we are getting fire. Sparking pretty good. So that's a step in the right direction. So now we've got the coil installed, got it adjusted right. Finally, I don't know how I managed to screw that up, but throw the rest of these screws in. Well, actually, I won't because we still got to run, maybe change the primer and all that good hoopla. But so we're a step closer. And so now we know we got fire, and we get the carburetor installed. Once the carb's installed, I'll wait until I got that installed, then take this cover off, adjust it, get the muffler on. I ain't even going to bother putting the bar and everything on it. I'm just going to try to test fire it on the bench, see if it'll even start. Feels like she's got good compression, so we shall see. So, fuel lines. Got to make sure we get fuel lines on it. So, and yank the carb off of that one over there, and get it installed and see what we end up with. Will it run? Most likely not, but hey, I'm willing to give it a shot. Alright, change of plans. So what I'm going to do, instead of running fuel lines and all that, I'm just going to went ahead and got the throttle cable adjusted, got the choke hooked up, everything's hooked up. So what I'm going to do is prime the carb, try to start it on the bench. I'm just going to prime just enough gas to see if it'll hit off. If it tries to run, attempts to run, then it'd be worth it for me to put take the time to put the fuel lines in it, reassemble everything, which of course there ain't much left to reassemble, but so with that, let's try fuel down that here. Not screwing it up. Not a lot of fuel. Hopefully it's enough just to hear to see if, you know, you get the gist of it. Enough to see if it'll attempt. So, up should be on, I do believe. Yep, so it was sparking. We got fuel. So let's see what happens. I'm probably going to have to bring it down here, but alright, nothing. Put a little choke on it. Nothing. Back to the drawing board, I reckon. Just make sure we didn't lose any spark here. Shouldn't have. Gotta make this thing organized. Yeah. Between these three saws, man, I got stuff everywhere. But we should not have lost any spark. What the world did I do with that? Maybe this one fit it. Definitely got gas in the cylinder. It's good fuel. See what we get. Ooh, just kicked out all kinds of crap. It's sparking. Positive. There's fuel in the cylinder. One way to find out. Oh yeah. So we definitely got fuel in the cylinder. So maybe I flooded it, I don't know. I'll give it a few yanks and see what happens, I reckon. Wasn't expecting it to take right off. I was hoping to at least try to bark to life though. It's kind of depressing. There you go, bro. Finally. Now we can attempt to get everything back together. So now it probably I'll just make this part one, and so I got some stuff I got to go do anyway. But I'll make this part one, and I definitely don't have the time for all this tonight. This video is getting to be where it's getting kind of long, so I'll make this part one, and you guys keep an eye out for part two. Would I recommend doing this? Heck no, man. This is doing it just to be doing it, see if I could. And so actually I have not used anything from that old Craftsman saw yet, and so it'll come down once we get the fuel lines installed and the fuel filter. It'll come down to the carburetor. If the carburetor's any good, we're golden. If not, I'll try to adjust it, but if we can't get it to work right, I'll yank the one off that Craftsman though on it and see what we got. So I'll catch you at the next one. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for part two. And I'm surprised. I didn't think it'd run, but hey, it ran decent. At least it idled and ran the fuel out, so we might be good. All right, I'll catch you at part two. Thank you for watching. Really appreciated it. So far, so good.